Yo, what's going on? This is the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, and you're listening to the Sports Jedi Network. You get me?
You're watching Jedi Sports Network with Kev.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you.
What's up, Kevin? It's me, Miles Bourne. I just wanted to come on here real quick and say thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and the fact that you're there every Tuesday really means a lot to me.
Hey guys, this is Elena Black, and you are watching Sports Jedi Network.
Going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sports Jedi Network channel. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, BS Sports Jedi Kev, along with Haas and Uncle Brew. Today, we get upgraded to first class. We bringing in the one and only AJ Francis to join us. Good afternoon, AJ. Salute.
Yeah, what up, man? Hey, appreciate y'all having me, dog. It means a lot for me to be here because the World Cup is on, and I'm very focused on the World Cup. So for me to, decide, this is worth my time and energy. I just need it to be understood how much respect I have for you and that big ass cigar you got.
And you thank you for the upgrade here for the bottle. Because my
Oh,
Knicks won the
yeah.
championship. Let's go.
Nixon 5, you know what I'm
There you
saying?
go, Knicks in 5. Let's go. Hot,
I will
yeah,
admit, I will admit, I did think that it was going to be Spurs in 5, but I'm glad that I was wrong. I'm very glad that I was wrong.
I'll let that pass. Salud, man. Salud. Go ahead, Haas.
For sure.
Throw your commercial. Go ahead. Throw your first question to Mr. AJ Francis here.
All right, AJ, I got a question for Slammiversary right here for your match.
Okay.
Now, with Elijah, this guitar-toting character that you're going against, you got this cease and desist on this NIL. So is this a major power move to show you how big AJ Francis is, or is Elijah's musical catalog worth that much money?
So here's two things. It's one. Number one, for the rest of this interview, I need you to refer to him as the artist formerly known as Elijah, because I own the rights to Elijah. Okay? That's just, we can't give him no more credit than he deserves because he don't deserve any, right? And to be honest with you, it's a little bit of both. I like the way that you structured that. It's a little bit of a power move to let you know, hey, don't try me. Try Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Don't try me, okay? Because you try me, you're going to end up with a consequence that you didn't anticipate. Just like the artist formerly known as Elijah now can't even come out to his own music because he wanted to play with me, right? But it's also because, Elijah got a couple good songs, I like a couple of the stuff he does, But at the end of the day, I think it was a lot easier to buy than a lot of people might consider. And on top of that, it was worth every penny because now I get to see the pain and anguish on his face, knowing that everything he worked so hard for now belongs to AJ Francis.
See, that's how we start off an interview, talking money, money, money.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Now, I've got a question for you, a little bit outside of you, because you've been in football locker rooms. Also you've done great music. You're in entertainment, now in the wrestling. Which has been the most challenging, the most toughest for you navigating in your career?
The toughest field is definitely music, right? And I would say the toughest field is music because in the music industry, like, it's not all about actual talent, right? Like, there's politics in wrestling, there's politics in football, but if you're actually talented, you're still going to get some opportunities. It might not be, the best opportunity in the world. You might be good enough to main event WrestleMania and never even be on WrestleMania, but if you're good enough to main event WrestleMania, you'll still get opportunities in the wrestling business. You know what I'm saying? Whereas some of the greatest artists you've ever heard in your life, nobody listens to them. Nobody shares their music. Nobody, even knows they exist. And meanwhile, some of the worst music artists you've ever heard in your life have reached the pinnacle of the business. So, it's all about marketing and branding and connections. And so I think easily the most difficult one to go between and from bottom to top, I would say, is the music industry for sure.
I always wanted to ask that question to you. Thank you.
Of course.
I consider you a successful man, AJ. I want to know
that's because your brain works.
I want to know what's a more satisfying feeling for you: getting a pancake block in a game, writing a fire 16, or pinning Rich Swann to win your feud.
To be honest with you, I genuinely think the crazier feeling is writing a fire 16. And the reason being is that, like, when you see me in a wrestling ring, even though I somehow find a way to lose all the time, I shouldn't be losing, right? You see me on the football field, I should be able to physically dominate every man out there. You know what I'm saying, right? But you see me walking around, and for some reason, because I play sports and I wrestle and all these other things, like, people assume that you can't rap, right? So then when I write a verse that's hotter than your favorite artist, now all of a sudden you're like, whoa, who is this guy? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I think it might be the shock factor. Like I say, that it's the same analogy I say when I go to a wedding, right? When I go to a wedding, like, I'm not a 10 out of 10 dancer. I'm not Chris Brown. But I'm a solid 8 out of 10, right? But when you're an 8 out of 10 and people just see you as this big guy that they expect to be a 0 out of 10, now you're a 12 out of 10 because the expectation wasn't there for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same kind of feeling.
All right.
Speaking of expectation, I'm going to ask this one here. What has TNA allowed you to show as a performer to us fans that we have not seen from you anywhere else, whether it's on the gridiron, behind the music, or anywhere?
Peak creativity, like within the wrestling business, is the thing that TNA has allowed for me. Since the people keep asking, damn, AJ, what's the difference in TNA? Like, you're presented so much better in TNA than you were in WWE, or like, you're a much better character now in TNA than you were in WWE. And I'm just like, well, the difference is when my opinion is asked, it's listened to, right? Okay. And like, I am at the point now where in TNA, the best thing about TNA, and that's why you'll see some people come to TNA and they'll flourish, and some people come to TNA and they flounder, because when you get to TNA, they put you in position. It's like playing football. They put you in position, but you got to make the play. You got to figure out how you want to say what you want to say. You got to figure out how you want to put your match together. You got to figure out how you want to, make sure your storyline is structured going forward. Like, you have a lot more hands-on ability. That's why guys like myself, like Mustafa Ali, you know what I'm saying, guys that are very creative and maybe at other companies don't get the opportunity to really show how creative they are, come to TNA and you say, oh, wow, this guy actually is something special, right? So, like, I think that's the biggest difference, because sometimes, like, even like my whole WWE run, like, we had a lot of good times with Hit Row. I won't say that we didn't, but at the same time, like, we were never supposed to be the guys. We were never picked as, this is who we're going to build our company around, right? So, like, until you're that, like, you're never really, like, how you want your character to be portrayed and how you think that your storyline should be pushed along is completely out of your hands, right? It's up to other people to decide how and what to do with you. But in TNA, like, yeah, the storyline is mostly written. You get to know where it's going, but it's up to you really to fill in the gaps. Like, or oftentimes, like a really good creative idea will come along, and I'm a creative person. So, like, if someone tells me an idea that they think that I should do as AJ Francis in TNA and I don't like it, I'll tell you I don't like that idea, and this is what I think we should do. But then you get stuff like the Inside the Music segment that we did last week, where that was all Eric Tompkins. Eric Tompkins was like, yo, I got this idea of what I want to do. Because what I wanted to do was remake the scene from Straight Outta Compton when Eazy-E meets Suge Knight in the studio and then he beats the hell out of him. That's what I wanted to do. Eric was like, actually, I got this idea for this kind of like, you know, spin-off kind of like behind the music kind of thing called Inside the Music. And I was like, okay, that's actually a good idea. Like, I would love to see the execution of it. But like, when we went and shot all the shots, it's like all the shots you see me like standing under the bridge and like blowing the sand. And like, I'm coming up with those on the spot. I'm like, oh, okay, let me sit over here. Oh, film me while I'm walking this way. Oh, actually film me with these fans over here. Oh, da-da-da-da. Like, oh, I'm get a close up on me blowing a cigar. Oh. But then Eric takes those clips and does the voiceover and the editing and the stylization of it. And it all comes together into a masterpiece because the groundwork has been laid. And when the ideas are good in wrestling, bro, there's nothing better than it. So it's like, you got to be in TNA, you got to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You got to be able to make sure that you know how to do it, because I could have been like, I don't know what to shoot, guys. And it would have, the whole segment would have been crazier. It wouldn't have been as good. But then everybody who sees the segment goes, bro, the part where you slap the wall and then drag your hand down the wall is so funny. It's like, in the moment, I'm like, yo, you know what would be funny is if I did this. So it's like, you have to be, or when I'm smoking a cigar in front of when I'm supposed to be when the part of the segment when it turns from jovial to menacing, I'm smoking this big fat cigar in front of a do not smoke sign, right? And it's like little touches like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to be able to, but these are just things that I'm coming up with while we're shooting. Like, you know what I'm saying? We had a cameraman for 20 minutes and we just walked around and shot a bunch of shots. And Eric put it all together, but you got to be able to do it. You have to be able to do it in a way that is entertaining. And if you are not entertaining, you will struggle in TNA. You have to be able to get it yourself.
All right, AJ, I'm going to follow what you just said about being entertaining. What do you define as being over in this business, and how do you get there?
Being over in the wrestling business is reaction. And I learned a long time ago, you don't got to have the biggest reaction when you come through the curtain. Yes, it helps, obviously. But if you consistently have a big reaction at 1, 2, 3, you're going to get over. It's only a matter of time. And like, you look at guys like Chad Gable, right? Chad Gable didn't just get good at wrestling. Chad Gable didn't just become an incredible performer. He's been one forever. But it's one of those things, it's like, he had to put in the work, he had to put in the time, and he did it over and 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 over again until you're like, oh, I love this guy. And it didn't matter if 2 years ago when he came out, if he had a good reaction or not, because by the time he went back through the curtain, he did, right? So you have to be able to get yourself over that way. You have to be able to win the crowd. When I work at Reality Wrestling and I'm teaching the students in the class, I'm teaching them like a lot of times I'll tell them to run this spot and they'll run the spot perfect, but there's 3 different instances in the spot when they could have interacted with the crowd and they didn't. And I'm like, you just failed, right? Like that's how you get over. That's how you get the people behind what you're doing, because I've been there. I've been there when the match before you was crazy and now the crowd's dead and you got to bring them back to life. If you go look at, everybody talk about that match me and Nick Nemeth had at Rebellion, incredible match with Bernie Kosar being involved. Everyone loved the match. Go watch the beginning of the match. The crowd is out of it because they just had a crazy moment, right? They were just going crazy and the crowd's kind of like a little out of it. And it took us working and working and working. 5 minutes into the match, okay, they're back. They're back. 10 minutes into the match, you would think that they were live the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And you go, oh, wow, that match was so great. But if you just listen to the crowd, the first 2 to 3 minutes, they're kind of dead. But you have to be able to turn them around. That's when you know that you can get yourself over. Once you're over, I would say like this. When you're over, the simplest things get the craziest reaction. Like, when you're really, truly over, like, when I was in WWE, I used to do escaleras, and I used to try to do all these different things. It's like, now I know that if I just give you a big boot and yell at the crowd, I'm going to get a bigger reaction than if I did, you know what I'm saying, a tilt-a-whirl DDT. Right? I just know it because I know how to work the crowd. I know how to make the crowd get invested. I know how to build it in. Once you get over to that point, it's hard. It's like they say, become undeniable. It's hard to pretend that you're not like in control of every aspect of what's happening. Because even when you do things that shouldn't work, they work when you're over.
Great answer. Great answer. Because the internet argues about this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking about the fans, I know there's a lot of, we're not going to get into that, but I want to come from you. What is the message that you have for every fan, TNA fan, wrestling fan, that they want to hear before Slammiversary? What's the mission statement, at least from yourself? Because I look at you as one of the locker room leaders. You've been in TNA for a while. You've been in the business for a while. You're speaking right now with a lot of wisdom and maturity. What is a message for us that we are Team TNA for this Slammiversary?
Listen, man, whatever your qualms or perceived issues that you think that you have with TNA, if you watch the product, you won't. I mean, all these people have all these dumb statements to make about TNA on any given day. But if you watch the shows, the matches are bangers. The segments are fun. That segment I just did for the Inside the Music, everybody's like, wow, this segment's so incredible. Da, da, da. Bro, that's not even in my opinion, that might not even be a top 5 segment I ever had in TNA. But you know what I'm saying? You have to watch to know that. Like, the First Class Penthouses, I did 30 of them. You know what I'm saying? And each one of them is a banger, right? But, like, you just don't fall for groupthink, okay? Be an independent thinker. Watch the show. I guarantee you, if you tune in to Slammiversary Sunday afternoon, you're not going to be able to say that was not a good wrestling show. You're going to watch the show and you're going to say, wow, that was an incredible show. If you ask any fan who's ever been to a TNA show, 90% of them will tell you that their favorite wrestling show they've ever been to live is a TNA show. It's just, that's the truth. Because what we do is we put on spectacles. We put on bangers. Everybody goes out trying to steal the show every single time that we're out there. And the thing is, it's like, yes, there is something to be said of like older people in the rest of the business say, when you're first out, you don't want to do too much. You don't want to, take the crowd away. If I'm first on the show, I'm telling you, everybody going to have to follow that. There's going to be a standard to be upheld. That's why, more often than not, TNA, if you look in the history of the shows, on big shows, put me on first. When you see the first, me and BDE's first match in TNA was the first match on the show, right? And then you come out of that like, yo, BDE's crazy. At what was the show? At the first show of the year. Genesis. At Genesis, me and Rich Swann start the show off, right? Right? Mm-hmm. And we went out there proving a point. Because my thing is this, like, if we go out and put a 10 out of 10 match on at number 1, and there's 8 more matches behind it, you're going to be able to tell who can keep up and who can't. Because a standard has been set. And there's no time for, maybe we can try to make this work. Nah, you better do what you know is going to work. Because I promise you everything that I do is going to work. Right? So, like, being able to go out there with this chip on your shoulder, that's what I think the collective TNA spirit is because TNA is, for the most part, except for young guys like Ricky Sosa, who came into the business hot and couldn't win anywhere, for the most part, TNA has been more or less an island of misfit toys. But then when you get to the island like I did, all of a sudden it becomes, oh, AJ's actually really good. Oh, TNA's actually really good. Because you're not falling for no make-believe narrative. You actually seeing it with your own eyes. Use your eyes and watch the product. I don't gotta. If you can watch TNA and tell me you don't think it's incredibly entertaining, brother, you're a lost cause. I don't know what to tell you because if you actually watch it, you'll love it. If you watch it with the intent to watch it and not watching it trying to find something to be mad about, you'll love it, right? Because there's plenty of people who could have said that the Inside the Music segment I did last week was, oh, this was dumb. Oh, I don't understand why they're doing this. Oh, da da da. But if you sit back and just watch, you're like, oh, this was actually fun. Oh, this is entertaining. It's a side of me, like a side of my character that you've never seen because my character is very asshole-ish. My character is very know-it-all. My character is very over-the-top and braggadocious. And this was like tongue-in-cheek. You never seen the tongue-in-cheek aspect of my character before because in there, like it sounds like I'm trying to be the good person. I'm trying to be the right thing. But if you actually listen to what I'm saying, I'm still a despicable person, right? Right? That's the joke. And that's what I think we bring to the table at TNA is that like you have to be willing to actually use your eyes and watch the product. And if you do that and tell me you're not having a great time, brother, I don't know what to tell you because go back and watch this episode of Impact. What match on there wasn't great? How about the week before that? What match on there wasn't great? Like, tell me. Like, the matches, except for matches that are meant to serve a purpose, like every match that goes out there, man, Eddie Edwards and BDE put on a banger to start the show like 3 weeks ago. But narrative. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. It's narrative.
No, but we'll be watching. We have that's our time with you. I just want to say thank you so much. I'm a big fan, by the way, as you could tell.
Hey.
I'm a big fan. Yes, indeed. I'm a big fan. Today, this is an honor. We are privileged to have you on the Sports Jedi Network. This is AJ Francis. We'll be watching Slammiversary this Sunday, full force. Get your tickets if you haven't. Get your TNA Plus app. Thank you so much, Mr. AJ Francis. May the sports be with you. Thank you so much again. Peace out.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, may the sports be with you. Also, this is a tattoo of Han Solo frozen in carbonite, just so you know.
Oh,
nice. Cold.
There you go.
Peace.